Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Sitting here with Jamie, a fellow Piper pilot. We just got done watching a short video that I wanted to show Jamie with us being out here in the mountains. And certainly in the summertime here, a big thing is density altitude. I took my nephew and my son out to Alpine, Wyoming. It's south of Yellowstone. Very beautiful country, you know, mountain terrain and everything to fly around. There was a cool reservoir that we got to go boating on one day. Kids had a lot of fun there. But on the trip out there, we experienced, for sure, some density altitude. And I wanted to go through that story with you guys and just kind of share what I learned from it. But yeah, I wanted to share my experience with it and talk to Jamie about it and see if he's had any experiences that are similar. Really, the trip started out, we left Erie. We had flight planned, you know, out to Alpine, Wyoming. We knew it was going to be a stop for gas on the way. And so flying with my nephew and my son, I kind of wanted to split it up to where we had about an hour and a half in the air first, get them used to being back in the plane and feeling, you know, how it felt. I would probably say it was about a half an hour after takeoff from Erie, about 7 a.m. They both fell asleep. So you know, no trouble from the guys back there. And I woke them up. We were landing about 8:30 in Rawlins, which was our fuel stop. And it was a warm morning out, but we left here and I think the density altitude was 6,500. Field elevation is 5,100. So, you know, warm enough to where it's already taken effect. Mm-hmm. And we got up to Rawlins and I put in up to the tab, so we had about 36 gallons worth of fuel. My nephew in there, I had my son in there, a couple of bags. So we were close to gross weight for takeoff. And as we're picking up the weather here, you guys can kind of hear it, the audio is a little bit bad, but our density altitude's 9,000 feet. We've got a density altitude of 9,000. And that's
pretty high.
That's pretty high, yeah. Anybody that's, you know, watching this from Florida or whatever, you guys aren't even cruising at 9,000 feet. So yeah. for us to be taking off, yeah, you need to have a long runway. Things need to be right. With us, we were on that line of everything kind of rolling into to working out for us. So the airport that we were at had a 9,000 foot runway, which played into our favor. The winds weren't very strong, but we still chose, you know, the direction into the wind. Didn't want any tailwind to be helping or pushing us along. But as you'll see, as we start our rollout here, and we're not picking up speed very quickly. We passed the 1,000-foot markers, and you know, our speed's starting to pick up, and I'm looking for it to hit around 70, 75 miles per hour, which is something you had asked me.
Yeah.
And that's our normal rotate is right around 70 miles per hour. And so we're getting there, and you start to see the plane look like it's light enough to fly, and we rotate. And then shortly after that, you see the plane settle back down onto the runway, and our midway point is coming up really quickly, and that was my abort point. And so I'm 75 miles per hour back down on the runway. I'm almost at the halfway point. You know, what do you do? You'll see as we continue in the video, I decided we landed back on the runway because we did get off for a minute, got into ground effect, and the NCOut said, nope, you're not fast enough to continue this. And so we touched back down and we got back into 80 miles per hour, you know, rather quickly. And you'll see that we rotate this time. But yeah, our climb out, we're hovering at 25 feet per minute and maybe tickling 50. But we're in ground effect and we're just trying to pick up speed as we have enough runway in front of us to continue. And that's nerve-wracking because, you know, now you're thinking about making your turns and, you know, still climbing. And well, what if you have an engine out?
Totally.
What, you know, the what ifs start playing, and I'm sitting here with two passengers that are oblivious to it. You know, we're just taking off. And so I'm not trying to freak them out, but in my mind and in my, you know, I'm scanning everything, and I think we even saw the stall warning come on at some point.
Right.
And so you're nose down and, you know, back to, nope, we're not going up any higher. We're going to stay right here for a little bit.
Totally.
Yeah. And I think our cruising altitude to go west was 10,500. And I think it took us a good 20 to 30 minutes to even get up to there.
Sure.
And, you know, so it was quite an experience for us. We had that here at Erie. There's no way we'd be taking off because we wouldn't have rotated and we would have been out of runway at the home airport.
Way earlier. Yeah.
And being in Rollins too, you know, there's not a forest that's at the end of the runway.
Yeah.
There's all flat land. And so, you know, you have that ability to level off and try to get more speed before you gain some altitude. So
Totally.
I think a lot of that out here, you know, plays into it to be, you know, just keep your speed and
100%.
see what you could do. So that was one of the experiences that I recently had. And then the next one, I think, and I'm thinking in my head, this has got to be like an electrical failure. The transponder, now the fuel flow monitor is starting to act up. And so I'm going, okay, this was where I was going to make my departing call, but now I'm making a call back